Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're tackling Sahaj Samadhi.
Sahaj Samadhi.
Yeah, have you come across this term before?
Well, yeah, it comes up in a lot of different spiritual traditions, and it's always interesting to see how it's interpreted.
I know, and that's exactly why we're here today, to kind of unpack two really different paths that supposedly lead to Sahaj Samadhi. And just for our listeners out there, it basically means a state of effortless meditation.
Right, effortless inner peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Just that sense of deep calm.
Exactly. And what's so cool about this is that we actually have two very distinct paths
Yeah.
we're looking at today.
Two very different approaches.
So we're going to be talking about Sri Ravi Shankar's Sahaj Samadhi meditation,
Okay.
and that's often called SSM.
Right.
And then also the Nath Sampradaya's ancient understanding of Sahaj Samadhi,
Oh, very cool.
which has roots in yogic traditions going back centuries.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be fascinating to compare these two.
I know. I'm excited.
Because they both use the term Sahaj Samadhi.
Right.
But what effortless actually means in each context is surprisingly different.
I think our listeners are going to be pretty surprised by what we uncover today.
Yeah.
So our mission today is really to help you guys understand
Yeah.
the nuances of each path and what makes them unique.
Exactly. Because there are some interesting twists and turns along the way.
We're going to be diving into personalized mantras, intense yogic practices.
Oh, yeah.
And even the different end goals of these approaches.
It'll give you a wild ride.
It's going to be a wild ride, so buckle up, everybody.
So where should we begin?
Well, I think first we need to lay some groundwork.
Yeah.
We need to understand, what are we even dealing with here? What
What are these traditions all about?
Exactly. So
Right.
let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Okay, so let's start with Sri Ravi Shankar's Sahaj Samadhi meditation, or SS, as it's often called.
Yeah.
It's taught through the Art of Living Foundation, and it's a very modern approach.
Modern and accessible.
Very accessible,
Yeah.
and really emphasizes integrating meditation into our, super busy modern lives.
Right. Anybody can do this.
Exactly. It's about finding that oasis of calm in the middle of, our daily whirlwinds.
I love that.
So SSM primarily focuses on stress reduction and cultivating a sense of inner peace and resilience.
Okay.
You can think of it as a practical toolkit for navigating the challenges of, modern life.
Got it. Okay, so that's SSM kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But now let's switch gears and talk about the Nath Sampradaya's Sahaj Samadhi.
Okay.
And I'm getting the sense that things are about to get,
A little more tense.
a little more intense.
Definitely.
So tell me what's going on over there.
So the Nath Sampradaya, which is heavily influenced by the teachings of Gorakhnath,
Okay.
takes a much different approach.
Okay.
We're talking about a tradition rooted in the ancient practices of Hatha Yoga.
Wow.
And its ultimate goal is a profound spiritual transformation.
Okay.
Union with the divine, which is often represented by Shiva.
Wow. Okay, so one path is about finding peace amidst the everyday chaos.
Yeah.
And the other is about this incredible journey of merging with something much larger than ourselves.
You got it. And these differences in their goals
Yeah.
are directly reflected in the methods employed by each tradition.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Tell me about these contrasting methods.
Okay, so in SSM, the core practice revolves around receiving and repeating a personalized mantra.
Okay.
So you get this mantra from a trained instructor,
Okay.
and it's designed to help you quiet the mind and effortlessly slip into a state of deep inner stillness.
So it's you're given this special sound, this
Right.
key to unlock that quiet space within.
Exactly.
And the repetition helps you step away from all the mental chatter.
You got it. It's about creating a pathway to stillness through focused repetition,
Okay.
allowing that inner peace to kind of emerge naturally.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's SSM, but how does this compare to what's happening in the Nath Sampradaya? Because their path sounds a lot more
Hands-on.
hands-on, yeah.
Yes. The Nath Sampradaya's route to Sahaj Samadhi involves a much more demanding journey,
Okay.
both physically and mentally.
Okay.
It requires a serious commitment to practices like asanas,
Sanans.
which are the physical postures of yoga and pranayama, which focuses on breath control.
Oh, wow. So it's a full body and mind experience.
Exactly.
But what's the purpose of all this intensity? I mean, it's not just about stretching and, breathing deeply, is it?
No, you're right. It's much deeper than that.
Okay.
These practices are designed to purify and balance the body's energy centers, known as chakras,
Okay.
and prepare the body and mind for the awakening of Kundalini energy.
Hold on. You mentioned Kundalini awakening. Now,
Yeah.
for our listeners who might not be familiar with that term,
Right.
can you break that down for us?
Sure. Think of Kundalini energy as this potent, dormant force that lies at the base of the spine.
Right.
It's like a coiled serpent waiting to be awakened. The Nath Sampradaya believes that activating this energy is essential for reaching those higher states of consciousness
Gotcha.
and experiencing Sahaj Samadhi in its truest form.
So it's not just about sitting still and repeating a mantra.
Right.
It's about pushing your limits, mastering your body and energy to
Yeah.
prepare for a completely different level of experience.
Exactly. And this process often involves other yogic techniques, like mudras,
Mudras.
which are specific hand gestures that direct energy flow, and bandhas, which are energy locks that help to contain and channel that awakened Kundalini energy.
Wow, it sounds intense,
It is.
but also incredibly powerful.
It is very powerful.
So even though both paths use the term Sahaj Samadhi,
Right.
the journey and the experience itself seem to be on completely different levels.
You're absolutely right. And the reason for this difference lies in the core philosophies underpinning each tradition.
Okay, so this is where we get to the heart of the matter. I love getting into the philosophical nitty-gritty because it helps us understand why these traditions approach things so differently.
It does.
So let's dig into those core beliefs.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Sri Ravi Shankar's approach really emphasizes that inner peace is already within each of us.
It's like we all have this wellspring of tranquility inside, but we just need the right tools to tap into it.
Yeah, exactly. SSM sees Sahaj Samadhi as that key
Okay.
to unlocking that innate peace. It's very inclusive
Yeah.
and non-religious.
Right.
It's really accessible to people from all walks of life.
So it's like a very practical approach to spirituality,
Yeah.
focusing on like the here and now and helping people find that sense of calm amidst like
The daily grind.
the daily grind. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's a key difference from the Nath Sampradaya.
Right.
Their philosophy is deeply rooted in the concept of achieving liberation,
Okay.
moksha, from this cycle of birth and death.
Oh, wow.
And this liberation comes through union with the divine, often symbolized by Shiva.
So the end goal is much more expansive.
Right.
It's not just about personal well-being, but about merging with something far greater than
It's-
ourselves.
And Gorakhnath, who is a very central figure in the Nath Sampradaya,
Okay.
taught that our true nature is divine,
Okay.
but it's clouded by ignorance.
Okay.
And through rigorous discipline and purification,
Right.
we can shed that ignorance and achieve Sahaj Samadhi, a state of effortless oneness with Shiva, and a realization of the ultimate nature of reality.
So it's about transcending the limitations of like our individual selves
Yes.
and tapping into that universal consciousness.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And this difference in philosophy directly influences the accessibility and lifestyle demands of each path.
Okay, so one is about weaving meditation into our existing lives,
Yeah.
while the other requires a complete transformation
Right.
of the self and a commitment to like a whole new way of being.
Precisely. SSM is designed for seamless integration into modern life.
Okay.
You don't need any prior experience with meditation
Right.
or any intense physical preparation. You can practice it in your living room, on your lunch break, wherever you find a few moments of quiet.
So it's meditation for the modern human.
Exactly.
The busy schedules, commutes, information overload, the whole 9 yards.
You got it. But the Nath Sampradaya's path to Sahaj Samadhi is much more demanding.
Okay.
It often requires a complete lifestyle shift.
Wow.
Dedication to yogic practices,
Yeah.
ethical disciplines, dietary restrictions, even the guidance of a guru.
That's some serious commitment.
It is.
It's not just about carving out a few minutes for meditation.
Yeah.
It's about restructuring your entire life
It is.
around this pursuit of spiritual mastery.
It's a path for those who feel a deep yearning for spiritual awakening and are willing to fully dedicate themselves to the process.
Wow, okay, so for our listeners who are out there thinking this all sounds amazing,
Right.
but like where do I even begin? What advice would you give them for exploring these two paths?
Well, I think it all comes down to understanding your aspirations and lifestyle. If you're looking for stress relief and a way to bring more peace into your daily life, SSM might resonate with you.
Okay.
The Art of Living Foundation offers courses and resources
Yeah.
to guide you on that path.
It's a great option for those who are like,
Yeah.
dipping their toes into the world of meditation
Right.
and seeking inner peace within like,
Yeah,
the context of a busy life.
absolutely. But if you feel a strong pull towards the profound spiritual transformation that the Nath Sampradaya offers, then exploring the teachings of Gorakhnath and the practices of Hatha Yoga might be your calling.
Okay.
Just be prepared for a challenging and transformative journey.
It's not something you just like dabble in.
Yes.
It demands dedication,
Right.
discipline, and a willingness to surrender to a profound process of self-discovery.
Absolutely. Now let's dive into the nature of effortlessness in Sahaj Samadhi.
Yes,
How do these traditions actually define and experience this state?
because we've been talking about like effortless meditation, effortless bliss, but what does that actually feel like? How do you know when you've reached it?
In SSM, effortlessness is achieved through the practice of mental stillness
Okay.
and the repetition of your personalized mantra. As you quiet the mind, you naturally slip into a state of deep inner peace and tranquility.
Okay.
It's about letting go of effort and allowing that stillness to emerge.
So it's not about forcing yourself to be calm. It's about creating the conditions for that calmness to arise naturally.
Precisely. The mantra acts as a gentle guide,
Yeah.
leading the mind away from distractions and towards that inner sanctuary of peace.
Got it.
With practice, this state of Sahaj Samadhi becomes more accessible and can even start to spill over into your daily life.
So you start experiencing that same peace and presence even outside of your formal meditation practice.
Exactly. But in the Nath Sampradaya, the concept of effortlessness in Sahaj Samadhi takes on a much more profound meaning.
Okay.
It's not just a temporary state of mental calm, but a complete transcendence of the ego and duality.
Whoa. Okay, so we're not just talking about relaxation techniques here. This is a total shift in consciousness.
Yes, it's about achieving union with Shiva consciousness,
Wow.
where you no longer identify with your limited self, but experience a profound sense of unity with the universe.
So it's like dissolving the boundaries between yourself and everything else,
Yeah.
experiencing pure awareness and oneness.
Beautifully put. And this state of Sahaj Samadhi is not something that you can force or will yourself into.
Right. It's a combination of years of dedicated practice,
Yeah,
purification, and the awakening of Kundalini energy.
precisely. It's a spontaneous arising that occurs when all the conditions are perfectly aligned.
Okay.
Through consistent and dedicated yogic practice, it's the fruit of a long and arduous journey of self-transformation.
So we have two paths to Sahaj Samadhi.
What?
One emphasizes accessibility and integration into daily life.
Yeah.
The other demands complete surrender to a transformative spiritual path.
And both offer profound glimpses into the nature of consciousness and the potential for human transformation.
This is such a rich and nuanced topic, and I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
We have.
What are some key takeaways for our listeners to ponder as they continue exploring these paths? It's amazing, isn't it? We've journeyed through two paths to Sahaj Samadhi. One is all about accessibility and well-being, and then the other one's like intense practice and ultimate liberation.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how both use the term Sahaj Samadhi, but the approaches and goals are so different.
What really stands out to me is the level of commitment for each. You know, with SSM, it feels like something you can just kind of weave into your life, a tool for peace in a busy world.
Right.
But then the Nath Sampradaya's path, it's like a complete life transformation.
Yeah, it really is. You're dedicating yourself to a whole different way of being.
It makes you think about, you know, how important it is to be self-aware when you're choosing a spiritual path.
Absolutely. You have to think about what really resonates with you, your values, your aspirations, your life circumstances.
Yeah, because there's no one-size-fits-all in spirituality.
Exactly. It's about finding the path that aligns with your unique journey.
And that journey, it's always an exploration. Even within these two traditions, there are so many nuances and interpretations.
It's a vast and ever-unfolding landscape.
That's what makes it so exciting.
It really is.
There's always something more to learn, something new to discover.
Now, for our listeners who are interested in Sri Ravi Shankar's Sahaj Samadhi meditation,
Yeah.
the Art of Living Foundation is a great resource. They offer courses and workshops all around the world.
Yeah, they're fantastic for those who want guidance and a community on this path.
And if you're drawn to that ancient wisdom of the Nath Sampradaya, there are so many books and teachings available.
Oh, yeah.
So you can even find lineages that trace their roots back to Gorakhnath.
It's definitely a path less traveled, but it's so rich with history and profound insights.
It is. So as we wrap up today, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Oh, a parting question. I love these, Leonardo.
Okay, so considering these different approaches to Sahaj Samadhi, which one speaks to you most deeply? What resonates with your personal understanding of inner peace?
That's a really powerful question to think about.
Does inner peace come from finding moments of stillness in the everyday, or does it require a complete transformation of the self, emerging with something much larger?
The answer is within each of us.
It is.
So keep exploring. Keep seeking and trust your intuition to guide you on this journey of self-discovery.
You got it.
And remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's all about finding the path that feels most authentic to your spirit. Keep diving deep, everyone. And until next time, may your journey be filled with peace, joy, and those beautiful aha moments.